more points than that.
Destruction All-Stars is a PlayStation 5 exclusive vehicular combat game developed by Lucid Games and published by Sony Interactive. Destruction All-Stars fashions itself after the hero shooter genre, featuring multiplayer-centric gameplay and unique characters that can be visually customized with skins. It's clear that Sony wants Destruction All-Stars to blossom into a profit center like similar games such as Psyonix, Rocket League, and Blizzard's Overwatch. While Destruction All-Stars has an interesting and diverse cast of heroes, their personality is seldom seen, and the gameplay loses its luster after just a few hours, especially with content being locked behind a paywall. Destruction All-Stars is a pretty straightforward destruction derby type of game that is reminiscent of both the Twisted Metal and Burnout series. The main difference being that it takes place in an arena and features quite a bit of on-foot action when you're not in a car. While outside of a car, you can collect gems that aid you in being able to use your special, as well as let you attempt to do a takeover or a wreck-over. These are done with on-screen button prompts, which result in a small battle that gives you the opportunity to take possession of the car if successful with a takeover, while a wreck-over instantly crashes and reduces the health of an opponent's car, forcing them to eject. By collecting shards around the map, you will fill your breaker and hero vehicle bars. While driving, you'll need to make use of the evade and rush maneuvers to take less damage and cause massive damage to your opponents respectively. The rush button gives you more speed, which results in doing more damage from crashing into rivals, and the side button is invaluable for dodging attacks. The issue I have with this is that these attacks are mapped to the right stick, which means there is no camera control for the player. This obviously opens up the issue of not being able to view your surroundings and leaving you susceptible to being hit hard. There are 4 different game modes in Destruction All-Stars that can be played in online multiplayer or in single player against AI bots. Mayhem is a standard free-for-all wreckfest that awards you points for hitting and wrecking other players, with more points awarded for knocking them out. In Gridfall, respawns are limited, and as time goes on, the floor falls away, causing the arena to shrink. As another free-for-all mode, damaging rivals is the only way to earn more respawns. If you knock out a rival, their respawns deplete completely, and the last All-Star standing wins. This really turns the game mode into a war of attrition, which is incredibly fun. Carnado is a team-based game that awards you gears for damaging opponents. Your goal is to make it into the Carnado, to convert your gears into points. Stockpile is another team-based mode that has you collect gears. What separates this mode is that gears are only collected on foot and must be deposited into banks. The goal is to max out all the banks in order to win. While I'm glad there's an option to play against bots, as I feel a lot of multiplayer games will benefit from the feature, it would be nice if they were a bit more competent in Destruction All-Stars. For example, when I was playing Gridfall, I went on hard when a bot decided to launch itself from the platform on its own accord.
Looks like someone wasn't taking care of their ace in the hole. Hero vehicle down.
Like many games of this ilk, there are daily and weekly challenges concerning both specific characters and generic goals to be completed. Unfortunately, this also means that there is an attempt to monetize quite a bit of the game. Despite there being no traditional DLC, Destruction All-Stars uses All-Star coins and Destruction points as currency to customize heroes. While you're able to gain All-Star coins by playing and getting experience, you are forced to purchase Destruction coins. There is absolutely no way to earn Destruction coins, and they must be bought with real-world money. While this wouldn't necessarily be a problem by itself, there is a huge portion of this game left behind purchasing Destruction points. The Challenge series is almost entirely locked behind this paywall, forcing players to purchase at least $15 worth of Destruction points to complete just Lupita's challenges. Even though Destruction All-Stars is available to those with PlayStation Plus right now for no cost until the end of March, it isn't a free-to-play game. This is a full-price game currently, even though there are plans to significantly reduce its cost once it leaves the PlayStation Plus library. The main attraction outside of the gameplay are the heroes that are available to play as. There are 16 different All-Stars to choose from, all having their own distinct style and breakers. While on foot, you can activate a character breaker. When activated, a character breaker allows you to run faster and gives you the ability to double jump, with each character having a special technique, such as shifts, which allows them to become invisible for the duration. Additionally, each character also has their own unique hero vehicle. Hero vehicles have additional health as well as activatable breakers that are similar to the character's breaker. Unfortunately, we don't get to see much of these characters' personalities outside of the Challenge series, in which they interact with one another with dialogue very reminiscent of a fighting game story. As mentioned previously, much of the Challenge series is unplayable unless you want to buy destruction points with real-world money. Destruction All-Stars is undoubtedly a fun game, for a limited time at least. After that, the game becomes pretty repetitive regardless of the hero you've chosen. As for now, Destruction All-Stars isn't the killer app that Lucid or Sony hoped it to be, as I can't see players sticking around long after they've played a few dozen matches. Also, the fact that a large portion of content in the game has to be purchased with real-world money is incredibly off-putting. Fortunately, what Lucid has put together is certainly a solid foundation that can be built and expanded on in the future. Hopefully, Lucid can bring something to the table to liven up the gameplay to keep players returning to the hectic action.